All right, so we're going to get started on product availability. Again, this is a question that we get pretty frequently. So we're going to jump into the product section here in the admin area. And I'm just going to zoom the screen here so it's a little bit easier to see for you guys. All right, so here in the product section, you'll notice right now I have quite a bit of categorization as well as quite a bit of products. So let's see what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to jump in here and switch to another site. Okay, now let's go in and turn on an additional catalog. So, you know, as you're starting with DecoNetwork, you may find that, you know, a lot of people have turned on quite a bit of product just when they first start into DecoNetwork. So I'm going to go in and just turn on two of the major suppliers here. We'll do Sanmar and Alpha Broder. Let me just go ahead and save that change. That opened up on a separate tab here. All right, so those products are going to start populating here in my list. Now again, the total amount of products just with two suppliers selected is well over, you know, close to 5,000 products, well over 4,000. So again, you really want to bring that down and curate that to an amount that, number one, it's easy for you to manage, and number two, it's easy for your customer to find the product that they're looking for. You know, a lot of the time in the decoration industry, the consumer doesn't really know the difference from one shirt to another. And so it would be best for you to kind of do that curation for them and set up easy to browse categories or you know, easy to differentiate product structures. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to take a look at. Let's see if that progress, yeah, it's almost done here. So we'll give it another minute or so. In the meantime, what we're going to look at is product groups. So the way I'm going to recommend to set the product availability is through setting up product groups. Whenever you're bringing in product from the supplier catalogs, those are all going to come into the system product groups. So you're going to find those are things like apparel, headwear, accessories, right? So these are the system product groups. And oftentimes what people want to do is they want the ability to bring in products from the catalog, but have those products come in disabled or hidden by default. And then they want to manually pick and choose from those available products to then display on their website. So the easiest way to handle that is by using the product groups feature. So we're going to come in here. Now, this feature, I believe, it's actually an add-on, which is disabled for new accounts. So if you're a new account and you come here into the product section, you'll notice that product groups is disabled. You can still go ahead and click it. The system will at that point prompt you to turn on that app. Once it's on, you'll get a page that looks just like this. Okay, so let's start taking a look at some of these system groups. So I'm going to get started with apparel. I'm going to press the edit button next to apparel. And I'm going to click into the availability tab over here on the left-hand side. So we're going to be adjusting the availability of all of these system groups such that their Business Hub availability is set to Business Hub only. Right, so we're making a change from these products being available in the Business Hub and in my websites. We want these available only in Business Hub. Okay, now this change makes, what I'm showing right now makes most sense if you're coming in and just, you know, starting with your product setup. If you've already been with DecoNetwork and you have your products set up already, this is definitely something that you can look at, but you'll have to be a lot more careful making a change like this and switching products that are available in your websites to be available in Business Hub only. You know, could remove decorated products. So you have to be kind of careful when you're doing this with existing products. But again, right now, if you're having any kind of downtime, it's a good opportunity to kind of revisit that availability and see if you can kind of make optimizations or changes to that. Okay, so we're going to change the apparel group to Business Hub only and save that change. Okay, let's double check if our catalog update is done. So let's go ahead and close out of that tab. All right, we're also going to do the same for our next kind of big system product group, which is headwear. We're going to do the same, edit headwear, going to availability and set that to Business Hub only. And we're going to repeat that one more step. Accessories, I think, is kind of the last kind of big product group. So we'll set that to Business Hub only as well. Now, I would recommend to do that for all of these. We're going to not do it for this example, but you would want to go through all of these system groups and set those to Business Hub only. Okay, the only exception I would say not to really modify is your freeform, which is, that's kind of a separate topic altogether. All right, so again, we've done just the three main ones, apparel, headwear, and accessories, but you would want to go through these other ones like bags, and set those to Business Hub only as well. Let's actually do bags. I think bags might have, quite a bit of items in it, so we'll do bags as well for now. Okay, so we've taken care of those system groups. Now, if we jump back into our product section, we'll notice that the majority of these are now showing with an orange highlight here in our list. If we look down at the bottom of the products list, we can see the legend, which lets us know an orange highlight denotes a Business Hub only available product. So all of our products are now set to Business Hub only. Now, as far as the categorization, what we want to do is set up our own category structure again, which is going to be a little bit more curated, and it's going to make it easier for our customers to browse the items that we want to offer to them. So here in the All section, we're going to click on that All section to select it. We're going to press the Add Category button here at the top of the Categories panel. And we're going to create a new category called Product or Catalog Products. Okay, so this is going to contain everything. And then within that section, we're going to drag in these default categories. So I'm going to drag apparel into Catalog Products. I'm going to repeat that process for all of these. So grab accessories, put it into Catalog Products. Now, while I'm doing that, one of the reasons why we recommend setting up these product groups and setting the availability to Business Hub only is it still gives you access to those products when you're creating a quote or an order in the Business Hub. You still have access to those full catalogs from your suppliers. So it does give you flexibility in that way. But again, for the website, you want more of a curated selection. All right, so we've done two things up to now. We've created a new category and moved everything into it. We've also adjusted our system product groups so that all the products are available in Business Hub only by default. So if we take a look at our site, and let me just modify these two products here. Let's see, I'm going to modify that one and delete this one. These are custom products that I created myself, so those aren't picking up the change. So my customer provided product, I'm going to jump in and set also to Business Hub only. Now that availability change you can do at the individual product level, just like I did with my customer provided. The product group feature also lets you do it, and the benefit there is you don't have to do it on an item by item basis. We did it for apparel, headwear, and bags and accessories, and that took care of all, the majority of the products here from the supplier catalogs. Okay, so yeah, everything should now be Business Hub only. Let's take a look at the site here and just see what kind of products, if any, are still showing up. We'll jump onto the blank products page. So there are a few of the remaining product groups that we didn't really tackle. So aprons and blankets. Let's see if we can get those off as well. Let's jump back into product groups. Let's take a look at blankets. Availability, Business Hub only. Let's do towels. Maybe some towels in there as well. Hub only. And aprons, I think is the last one. Take care of that one as well. All right, let's refresh that blank page. And yeah, so at this point, we've created kind of a whitelist scenario where we're telling the system, don't list anything until we start telling you which items we want to list on the site. All right, so to get started here, we're going to first create a new product group. So I'm going to jump back into the product group section. On the top right corner of the screen, I'll choose the new product group button. And I guess right now we can determine how we want to break out our products. So again, from the default system group was broken down into apparel, headwear, accessories, that kind of thing. You may want to kind of replicate that same breakdown, or you could even choose to go, a step further and get more granular with your product separation. So I've seen people do t-shirts, polos, that kind of thing. And the reason why you would separate those out into their own product group is, again, to more easily make changes to that selection of products. So product groups allow you to control the settings of products contained within that group. Things like which processes are going to be available to those products, the catalog markup for those products, if those products have any minimum quantity, right? So these are the types of settings that you control, including availability, which is what we used it for. And this is different than a product category, right? A product category is what we'll take a look at next, and product categories are purely visual, purely organizational, and that's more for your customer to be able to browse those items. All right, so let's finish up the product group here. So I'm just going to replicate the system group. So I'm going to call this apparel, but I'm going to call it web store apparel. Right, these are going to be the items that I'm actually going to list on the site. So I'm going to call it web store apparel. The default category, I'm just going to choose catalog products for now. This doesn't really come into play unless you're creating products from scratch and assigning them to this group. They pick up this default category. So this isn't going to change which category items from the catalog are assigned to. But the system does require you to set a default category here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. All right, and the availability is already going to be set to Business Hub and Web Store, so I don't need to make any change there. All right, so let me save my Web Store apparel. I'm going to repeat that process once more for Web Store headwear. All right, these are the only two categories I'm really going to consider for now. Again, you could continue on with all of the different categories that you might require. All right, so we've got two new groups. Let's jump now back into our products list and start setting up a clean category structure based on our needs. So I'm going to click the Add Category button here at the top again. And the way I want to break this out is just by kind of categories like t-shirts. So I'm going to do t-shirts. I'm going to do polos. Maybe tank tops. Okay. And let's do some headwear categories. So we'll just do a top level headwear. All right, so that's kind of what I'm going to work with for now. And it's up to you. A lot of people leave these categories kind of at a top level. You may also want to create kind of a top level container. For example, you could call it our products or products, something like that. And then put the categories into that. Just like I did with catalog products, you can kind of grab these like t-shirts, polos, and just drop them into that top level category. That gives you kind of a nice container for them and an easy way to organize those here on the back end. But it does create an additional level that the user has to browse through. So it's up to you if you would like to do that or not. For this example, I'm going to skip that step. I'm going to move these back out to the top level. And there is also the possibility that you want to, create subcategories within these. So for example, under t-shirts, we could come in here and add a category. You know, a lot of people do things like based on gender. So they might do women's cuts. They might do a men's, a youth. And you may also want to do you know, unisex if you have any products that you're carrying like that. All right, so yeah, whatever you want your category structure to be, you know, you'll set it up just like I'm doing here. I would say consider keeping it as simple as possible. The most successful sites that I see maintain a simple and clear category structure. All right, so this is what we're going to work with for now. For the example, we're going to have t-shirts, polos, tank tops, headwear. We've got a few subcategories under t-shirts. So we've got everything set up and ready to start bringing items onto the site. And there's a couple steps that we're going to do to start bringing items onto the site now. The first is to identify what those products are. So, you know, you might know exactly which items are your best sellers. So those are the items that you'll want to focus on. For my example, I'm just going to search for some Gildan product here. So I'm going to search for the 5000. I've got a few different selections here. So I'm going to focus on that entire line. So I want to bring in the Gildan 5000, the 5000L, and the 5000B. So I'll configure each of those three products. Let's start with the 5000. We'll jump into the configure page for that item. And there's a couple things we want to do here under the general tab. Right under the product brand, you have the product group, and it's currently assigned to apparel. We're going to go ahead and click the change link to adjust that. And we're going to change from apparel to web store apparel and save that change. Okay, by changing which product group it's assigned to, we've automatically adjusted the availability of that product to be available not just in the Business Hub, but also on my website. If I jump back to the site and refresh that page, you can see that item is now listing there. The other thing we want to do is adjust the category that it's assigned to. Right now it's under that kind of bulk default catalog products category structure, and I want to kind of delete those. I want to remove which categories it's currently assigned to, and I want to go ahead and assign it to my own category structure that I set up. So I'm going to select t-shirts and t-shirts men's, which is where I think this item belongs. And I'll go ahead and save that change, and I'm done with that item. I'm going to repeat that step for the 5000L. Under general, I'll change which product group it's assigned to and move it into web store apparel. And I'll also jump into categories, remove the default categories, and assign it into my own category structure. Okay, so this is kind of the process of whitelisting. Is now that you've delisted everything using product group, system product group availability, you can now go back into individual products and determine which items you want on the site and how you want those items to be categorized for your consumer to browse. Okay, so we'll do a couple examples here. So we'll take a look at the 5000. Let's see if we can find some headwear. So we'll take a look at a couple of these caps and make these available as well. So again, under the general tab, we're going to click change next to product group. This time we're going to file these into web store apparel. Web store headwear. And just like we did with the apparel items, we're going to recategorize that into our own category structure. All right, so let's take a look at our site here. Let's refresh that page, and we can kind of see what it's looking like now. Now, one thing you may want to kind of play around with is the product sort order. Right, these hats are kind of showing at the top of my list, whereas I may want those further down at the bottom. I may want to determine which t-shirts are showing at the top. So we can definitely take a look at that next. And really, that's the kind of the process that you're going to repeat for yourself. Obviously, you'll add all of those items that you want to make available to your customer. And as far as a recommendation, it's up to you how many items you want to offer through the site to your customer, but I think the sweet spot is somewhere between 100 and 300 products. Again, you want to focus on those best sellers, the items that sell well, that are quality. You also want to have some high quality options and also some value options. So you can have that range, just like there's a range of customers with a range of price points that they're looking for. You want to have that catalog that supports that availability of products. Okay, so let's say we've set up our products just the way we want them. We've got the availability set just right. The next step would be to go ahead and sort those items. So here in the products list, you can sort by pressing the sort icon on the top right corner of the screen. And that's going to take you to a separate screen, which is the sort mode. Within the sort mode, you'll be able to click and drag items to change their sort order. The important thing to keep in mind here on the sort page is that individual categories don't manage their own sort order. So there's kind of one primary sort list or sort order, which is the all section. And that same sort order from the all section will be reflected across whichever category you've selected. Right. So if I move the Gildan 5000 to the top here, or I guess the better example is looking at the hats here. With the all section selected, let's say I move the NE 304 to the bottom of the list here. And then I take a look at headwear. It'll have moved to the bottom of the headwear category as well. Right? If I move it to the top and I click back into all, it'll have moved above that item, which was at the top of headwear. So it'll move right above the NE 307. Right? So there's only one sort order, which is reflected back into each category. So I usually recommend, if possible, sort within the all section as much as you can with the all section selected. If you need to make granular adjustments within that, then you can go into the category and make those adjustments, but definitely focus on the all section as your first kind of area to focus on. All right, so I'm going to move the t-shirts to the top here. And as far as the hats, I'll make this one first, and then we'll leave those as is. So we're going to save this change to our product sort order. All right, it's looking good. So I'm just going to actually repeat a few of those steps. I want a bit more items on the site here, so we can take a look at some of the additional steps that we're going to take a look at for optimizing the site. Let me just make sure that there's a bit more item on the system. So I'm going to also turn on the Gildan 2000 line. Okay. So again, repeating those steps in case missed them. So under product group, we're changing from apparel to web store apparel. Then we're jumping into categories, removing the default categories and assigning to our own structure. All right, so that's set up just how I want it. Let me close out some of these tabs. And let me just review my sort order once again after I've added a few additional styles. All right, so I'm happy with the 5,000s at the top. I'm also going to move the 2,000 line right below that. Save that change. Okay, let's take a look at the site. Let's see what we've got so far. Jump onto the blank products page. All right, so it's coming together. Again, we're kind of curating which products we want to offer. All right, so yeah, hopefully this step is helpful. Again, the focus here is making the products as they come in from the supplier available in Business Hub only, and setting the product group, the system product groups to Business Hub only availability is going to take care of that for you. And the benefit there is with catalog updates. Let's say suppliers add additional products. When those new products come in, because the default system group is set to Business Hub only, those won't automatically start showing up on your site. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of screen those items and determine, if you really want those listed on your site. So that's the real benefit there. And then on the secondary part is, curating that selection and organizing them in a way that's really clear and simple for your customer to find those items that they're after.